Warm welcome to CA Raja classes and thank you so much for joining this mini and micro webinar. Before we get into the discussion, let me just take a couple of minutes to introduce myself. I am CA N Raja, a chartered accountant by qualification, a teacher and trainer by passion, and teacher for 3 lakh plus students worldwide. I started my career as a banker with State Bank of India. Then after a period of 4 years, I got into CA practice. I had my practice for 7.5 years. But I realized my calling is teaching. I started focusing on teaching and training, and today with the blessings of God we have 3 lakh plus students worldwide. So now it's time for us to get into the session. In this session, let us talk about credit worthiness of borrower. This is the first thing which bank will look for before appraising the loan, right? If an applicant is an individual and let's say he is requesting for personal loan or home loan, then bank will try to understand the credit worthiness of the borrower by going through his credit history. They can peruse the reports from credit bureaus like CIBIL. They can go through the personal financial statement of that individual, and they'll give enough information so that the bank can take lending decision easily. Banks also have scorecard templates. Here applicants' financial data and loan request details will be filled in, and these templates are used for scoring the loan request of that borrower. By doing this, they can auto-populate what is the eligible loan amount, how much EMI he should pay, and what is going to be the repayment period, because everything is going to be formula driven. Bank should also carry out due diligence exercise. Bank should examine that individual character capacity. Character means whether he has intention to repay, capacity, whether he has adequate cash profits in his business. Bank will also make market enquiries. They'll also talk to that applicant's employer. Okay, so these are all going to form part of due diligence exercise. This is in case of an individual. In case of partnership concerns, private limited companies, limited companies and all, banks can go through, or they can get a view of credit worthiness of the borrower by going through the financial statements, then credit reports. Okay, even for corporates we have credit reports now. Okay, so this is with regard to partnerships and companies. Then banks will also make discrete enquiries, search in CERSAI records, then register of companies, RBI defaulters list, then IBBI, that is the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India. Then searches can be made with regard to encumbrances on the properties which they have proposed to mortgage. Okay, so in this way discrete enquiries can be made and credit worthiness of the borrower can be understood. And whenever bank is going to give advances to company, they have to carry out analysis of the financial statements of the borrower so that they can assess the credit worthiness. Here they should carry out complete analysis of financial statements, and for doing this analysis they should get all the necessary information, and they should also ensure the financial statements what is submitted to the bank is reflecting true and fair statement of affairs of company. It means it should not be with any qualification by auditors. It should be true and fair. If there are any aberrations that have to be noticed and inquired into, say for example, let's say the past 3-year period sundry debtors shows debtors is equal to average 3-month sales. That is, in the past 3 years debtors is equal to 3-month sales, but in the latest year it has jumped to 4.5 months. Then bank should inquire and understand why is that. Is it because of poor collection effort, or is it because market is slowing down, or is it because the product no longer commands the market share, there is no taker for the product, or is it because it is losing the market share to competitors' product? All this have to be understood by the banker, because they are lending for their business activities, customers' business activities, and business is going to slow down. It will eventually affect the banker as well. That's why we say there should be a complete analysis of borrowers' financial statements. Okay, so not only for this, similar analysis and clarification should be obtained for all variations. Okay, wherever typical items are noticed, for all those items clarification should be obtained. Okay, that's why we say complete analysis of financial statement should be performed. Bankers should get full information,
and when they go through all the ratios, automatically they get enough hints and cues so that they can obtain full information and take a better decision. Okay, so with regard to companies, or not only companies, all borrowers, understanding three elements is very important: solvency of the borrower, liquidity of the borrower, and profitability of the borrower. So these three will give prima facie conclusion as to how sound they are when it comes to financial stability, okay, or we can say the financial soundness. That is, these three: solvency, liquidity, and profitability will communicate financial soundness of a company. Here, let's go a little deeper into liquidity. What is liquidity? That is, liquidity means the company has ability to meet demands when it is made. When current liabilities, when suppliers, when employees are going to ask for their due payment, company is in a position to meet that demand. That's what we say as liquidity. So it can arise from, the demand can arise from creditors, trade creditors, other dues payable, tax dues and all. Okay. So a bank or a lender, before giving a loan to a customer, they have to check the liquidity position of the borrower. And how they can be convinced that this customer is having enough liquidity? This is measured by surplus of current assets over current liability. If current assets are greater than current liability, then we can say there is a liquidity, and that can be measured through a ratio called current ratio. Okay, this ratio is calculated as current assets divided by current liability. If current ratio is greater than 1, then we can say there is liquidity. If current ratio is below 1, there is absolute liquidity strain. Company is already facing liquidity constraints. Okay, now let's see this. When current assets are more than current liability, we can conclude that company has ability to meet the demands. They can realize their short-term assets, that is the realization or receipts from current assets, and with that they can meet the current liabilities. So this is going to be a continuous process, that is realizing current assets, meeting current liabilities, realizing current assets, meeting current liabilities. So it is a continuous process. So this is basically issue of cash flow management, we can say. It is an issue of cash flow management. And I said current assets should be greater than current liability. It means current ratio will be greater than 1. Is it okay if it is just greater than 1? Not just greater than 1. Current ratio of 1.33 is considered as a satisfactory ratio, not mere greater than 1. If it is 1.33 or greater than that, then we can say liquidity is very satisfactory. If you look at Western countries and all, for large companies, higher current ratio was prescribed by their system. It was expected to be in the range of 1.5 and 2. That is, current ratio should be 1.5 and 2. Right. But thanks to financial sector reforms that have taken place, here banks can now draw their own conclusions with regard to what is satisfactory current ratio. So what is good ratio, what is good risk, everything can be decided by the bank itself based on their internally developed lending models. But one thing is very clear: if current ratio is going to be below 1, and if a bank is going to take up a fresh exposure on those companies by giving loans, it is equivalent to suicidal. Okay, this is on liquidity side. Next, let us also talk about solvency, that is measured through debt to equity ratio. Okay, this ratio basically measures the financial leverage. We said current ratio should be greater and greater, I mean greater than 1, greater than 1.33 and all, right? But for debt to equity ratio, lower the ratio, it is good for the company. When the ratio is lower, it means there is larger involvement of the company. Promoters, when they contribute more, the ratio will be lower. But if the ratio is higher, it means there is a high debt, and it indicates the company is heavily dependent on creditors, and promoters are trying to play the game of a leverage. They are trying to keep their own stakes lower, and they are trying to run the business with outsiders' money. Okay, this is debt to equity ratio. There is also another indicator of solvency. What is that? That is interest coverage ratio. This ratio is calculated as operating income divided by interest, and higher the ratio, it indicates the company has more ability to meet interest payment obligations. Okay, and It also helps the bank to ascertain whether it is difficult for the company to meet their obligation or whether they can manage the repayment, interest commitment and all without any difficulty. Okay, so both the ratios, that is debt to equity ratio and this interest coverage ratios, they measure the impact of external borrowings on the operation of the company.
Thank you for watching this webinar. I am sure you have derived value from this webinar. And if you wish to learn more, I have some good opportunity for you. What is that? Check out.
It is this Credit and Financial Analysis Mastery course exclusively designed for bankers and for those who want to have bankers' point of view. This is a course which we have developed after a detailed analysis, a thorough discussion with several hundreds of bankers and finance professionals. We have identified what is their exact requirement when it comes to SME and corporate credit and financial analysis. In this mastery bundle, I'm going to give you access to various courses. To start with, we have course number 1, Basics of Credit Analysis. In this course, we have explained the basics of credit analysis through various sections, section 1 to 9. Next comes course number 2, that is how to read balance sheet. In this course, we have explained what is balance sheet, how to read them, how to approach them by using real life financial statements. Then comes course number 3, how to do financial ratio analysis like a banker. In this course, we have explained all critical ratios that are analyzed by the bankers, and we have also explained through case studies. Then we have course number 4, how to do cash flow analysis. So through this course you will understand what is cash flow analysis, how to do a typical cash flow analysis. We have used case studies and reference to Ind AS is also included in this course. Then we have course number 5, that is how to do fund flow analysis. This is a critical financial analysis tool, and in this course you will learn what is fund flow statement, how to analyze them from banker's angle, how to prepare fund flow statement from academic angle as well. So overall 5 courses, each 1499. So aggregate price should be 7495, but you are not going to pay that. For you it's just rupees 2499 for 1 year access, or rupees 4999 for lifetime access. And it is not yet over, you have some more bonus. Bonus is course number 6, how to carry out credit risk rating for non-trading entities. These are all the topics covered in this course. Then course number 7, it is how to carry out credit risk rating for trading entities. Not yet over, you also have access to course number 8, that is how to prepare CMA report for bank loans. It's a comprehensive course which will run for 8 plus 5 hours, and you will learn entire CMA report preparation process. And course number 9, how to prepare cash budget for bank loans. Course number 10, how to assess fund-based working capital. So in this course you will understand what is working capital, what are working capital credit facilities and how to assess them, what are the key ratios that are related to working capital, and what are the additional key analysis that will be done by bankers on working capital matters. You will get a comprehensive understanding of cash credit, export finance, and there are certain on-demand videos as well. So 5 plus 5, 10 courses of value close to 15,000 rupees, but you are going to get it for 1 year access rupees 2499, lifetime access rupees 4999. Not yet over. You are going to get access to the 11th course, how to assess non-fund based credit facility. So in this course you will learn about letter of credit, bank guarantee, its assessment as well. Then comes course number 12, how to do term loan appraisal and assessment, because it's a complex process with a lot many technicalities. So this course covers all in detail. And course number 13, basic elements of loan proposal. So how a typical loan proposal will be, what are the basic elements that are covered in this course. And we have course number 14, case study on credit analysis, various case studies based on practical experience and discussion with various bankers and finance professionals are included in this course. And course number 15, this is about collateral securities, where you get knowledge about collateral securities. So overall it's 15 courses of value close to 22,485. It's 1,000 plus lectures. You can subscribe for 1 year access or lifetime access as you wish. These are all pre-recorded courses, so you can access them anytime as per your convenience. You can access them in mobile app or desktop, and for you the price is not 22,485, it is rather 2,499 for 1 year access or 4,999 for lifetime access. You can check the link in description where without using any discount coupon code you can enroll at this discounted price because it's a discount applied link. And not yet over, you're also eligible for some more bonus. The bonus is access to various ebooks and e-resources. You are going to get access to various financial ratios ebooks, financial management related ebooks. You will get access to financial analysis related ebooks, credit analysis ebooks. Not yet over, you will also get access to other resources like test series, templates, audiobooks, video books, career guidance material, and a bonus resource. Check the link in description and enroll now.